OffBeat Sports Podcast.
It's been a tale of two seasons for the Boston Celtics.
I probably aged about 10 years just from that series.
I'd probably compare myself to just a younger, smarter, more handsome, stronger Michael Jordan.
Let's go Celtics. Go Patriots.
These are guys who, when you give them a bowl of Cheerios in the morning, they finish every last drop of milk.
Absolute clown over here.
I'm ready when you are, baby.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the OffBeat Sports Podcast. Today we're joined by Cullen, CEO of the All Hail BBall Show and former Division I college athlete. Thank you for joining us today, Cullen. We appreciate it.
Yeah, guys, appreciate you having me on.
Yeah.
So your football career, you played Division I at Holy Cross. Was wondering if you wanted to talk to us a little bit about your time with the Holy Cross program and kind of how playing sports in college and in high school as well kind of inspired you to create All Hail B-Ball after college.
Yeah. Growing up, I played obviously it was a ton of football. Was a high school football player. Played high school basketball too, but football was really my true passion, actually, playing wise. So grew up playing football in Winter Park, Florida, town in Orlando. Came out, got an offer from Holy Cross in college, took a bunch of visits, decided Holy Cross was the best place, and turned out to be the best decision I could ever make. The Holy Cross football program, Coach Chesney was a first-year coach my freshman year, which was pretty cool to be able to kind of change the program alongside him and the rest of the guys in our class. Holy Cross is honestly the best place you could go play football right now. Obviously, great football, but even better school, and then your mentorship and people around you are going to be, there for life. What was the second part? How does that affect, All Hail B-Ball?
Yeah,
how did it build?
How that inspired you to create it?
Yeah, I guess obviously I've always been obsessed with sports. It's always been my thing. I was an economics major at Holy Cross, but realized that I like to do more creative stuff and I love sports. So figured out a way to kind of make that happen instead of, taking the traditional route and, getting an internship job, whatever, in the finance world, like the most economics majors at that school. I decided to start making content, started with graphic design, and then realized that as much as I love football, people know basketball players' faces more because football players are wearing a helmet. So I started talking about the NBA. I love watching it and kind of took it from there. And now it's grown way bigger than just the NBA and get to do a ton of cool stuff every single day because of it.
Yeah, so you've been able to build your account into something massive. You've even created a little bit of an AAU squad. You had your basketball go across the country. You got a lot of cool stuff going on, as well as you're talking basketball stuff. So what was your original intent for your brand, and how do you hope to capitalize on its popularity going forward?
Yeah, original intent was honestly a question mark. I didn't really know what I was doing. So honestly, what I did was I started it because I wanted to work in sports, and to work in sports is very competitive, especially if you're not a, major in anything in that, if you don't have a degree coming out in sports. So started it as almost like a visual portfolio of things I could do to get a job. Ended up landing probably the coolest job you could possibly have. I'm the director of content outside of All Hail, director of content at a sports marketing agency called Jaster. We're the marketing reps for a ton of collegiate athletes and a bunch of pro athletes. Biggest name probably being DeMar Hamlin right now. So I do all of his marketing stuff. Get to work closely with him, which is, obviously in the past year been insane. So kind of used All Hail to leverage getting into that job, that position, and being able to level up within the company quickly because of it. And now get to be a director. But honestly, All Hail has kind of taken a life of its own. We've done a ton of crazy, awesome things these past few weeks, past few months. Really, it's just been growing rapidly. The AAU team was one of the most fun things that I've ever done. The success that we've had there, obviously great players, but the online, ton of clicks, whatever, worked out pretty well. It was pretty fun. And so we're going to keep doing that, keep the team alive and keep moving forward with it. And then got a ton of crazy stuff in the works after this ball series. Pretty much, for those who don't know, we started a ball in Pittsburgh with an air tag in it and got it to move across the country using just strangers, like handing it off to each other, which was cool to see people coming together. But we're taking that, making it even bigger, partnering with a few massive companies, massive brands, to do a worldwide scavenger hunt throughout the NBA season. So we don't have a ton of details there, but it's gonna be pretty sick. So we're leveraging it the best that we can and taking every cool opportunity that comes along with it.
Very, very cool. I know your AAU squad, you played at that Spookiness facility. I played there before. Isn't that incredible, that place?
Dude, I've never seen a place with so many basketball courts. Also, they
It's
screwed us
absurd.
over and put us like way in the back first. So we had to beat
Oh,
the
yeah.
first team that played by 50. Come on. We had the best roster in there, and you're putting us on the blue courts. It's crazy.
I know, like it's so massive. Like when we first went in there, I was probably in like middle school, and like we walked in, we're like, holy crap! And then like they have the giant arcade, they have all those field hockey fields, the gyms, like that place is absurd.
Dude, it's madness in there. That was played in a lot of big sporting events. That was by far the most people. Well, not the most people, but the most like maybe people per square inch of a sporting event that I've ever witnessed. It was insane.
Yeah, so let's get into some basketball stuff. I mean, we're from Mass, obviously. We're a Boston-based podcast, so we got to get your opinion on the Celtics. How do you think this Porzingis trade's worked out, and do you see the Celtics being able to win a championship with the current roster they have?
I don't know I like Porzingis. I think he's a great player. Like he was so good. Like when he was on the Knicks, it was sick. When Porzingis mania was going on, Porzingod was awesome. Obviously, last year he played really good. Like a lot of people don't realize how good he was last year. But I think plantar fasciitis, however you say it, that's a tough, like I've had that happen. That happened to me in high school and it was brutal. And it's tough to get past. So I mean, I hope the best for him. Like I just don't know if he's gonna be able to contribute an entire season, which will be tough, especially if they're expecting a long playoff run. But I don't know. I feel like they kind of screwed themselves by paying Jaylen Brown too much money.
Really, you didn't like the Jaylen Brown signing?
He can't dribble with his left hand. I don't know where. Like, I think he's a great player, and like they're just not going to win a championship because they're going to have no depth.
Yeah, I personally, if I was
They're going to
Jaylen
pay
Brown,
two superstar max contracts in the next 2 years. Like they're going to have not like they're going to have two great. I mean, they're going to have a great starting five. Don't get me wrong. Their starting fives might be better than anybody in the NBA, but it's like who's going to come off? There's not going to be anybody on the
yeah,
bench.
they definitely lost some depth.
Well, I think the way you look at it matters too, because I mean, maybe he has no left hand, but he still was able to average 27 a game with just a right hand. So if he's able to improve that,
I hope he can. I like the Celtics. I hope he can improve. It's tough when you get to the playoffs and you have a guy that's having 8 turnovers a game. Like it's tough to win close basketball games.
It's hard to get past that.
Yeah, like they can easily lock him down. Like I'm not saying easily lock him down. He'll get his, but like if you see a weakness, NBA teams in the playoffs, they take that. Like you look at the Miami Heat, they took that heavily. Just get the ball to Jaylen Brown and force him left. And I hope he gets better at it. I think what he did with the big three was awesome, by the way.
Yeah, where he played in their All-Star game, right, in London.
Yeah, super cool. Super cool for I love like street ball stuff. So that was a sick move. So shout out Jaylen Brown for that.
Yeah. If you're Jaylen Brown this offseason, you literally should have your right hand tied around your back. You should be dribbling with the left hand. All
do something, man. Do something. Get the people to shut up.
That's why, like, I think he's gonna come back. He's gonna come back. He's gonna be showing off his dribbling. I think he's gonna be able to dribble because he has to see all that. I mean, and people near him have to see all that and have to tell him that. So I would have to imagine whoever he's training with is going to be putting a main focus on his ball handling. And as an NBA player, I feel like that's stuff he can work on and he should be able to improve by next season. It's not like it's like his shot's completely broken. It's something as simple as just being able to be stronger with your dribbling.
Yeah, dude, if I'm him, I'm coming out the first game next season and shooting like that one game Kobe just played with his left hand. I'm coming out, shooting lefty, dribble, nothing right with my right hand, just to shut everybody up. But we'll see. I just think the massive contract's what's going to screw them. Like, because the NBA, you look at playoff runs, it's a tough world when you don't have, it's really who can stay the healthiest and who can be the deepest when it comes down to the end of the day.
Yeah, they're going to need guys to step up. And I really like the kid they drafted in the second round, Jordan Walsh. I think he can.
Great player.
He could probably
Arkansas?
step up. Yeah, and he was
nutty.
a stud coming out of high school. So
he's
a guy that's like
round.
Yeah, who had fallen into a second round when realistically he could be a first round quality, and he's a great defender. there are some questions with his jump shot, but realistically, with the shooters you have, he shouldn't have to take threes. And in summer league, he was shooting pretty well. So like you're gonna have to have guys like that step up and play up to like the what Grant Williams is doing, or what like even Marcus Smart was doing, like defensively. You need that element of toughness back, and you're gonna have to have some guys pick up the slack and do that for you. But I like the squad. I know like there are questions about their depth, and I still think they can win a title. I mean, yeah, like that Warriors team we lost to a couple years ago, realistically, they didn't have a ton of great depth. Like that was their question going into the playoffs was, do they have the depth to do it? They had Jordan Poole coming off the bench, but like who's their next guy? It was like Otto Porter Jr., who actually played pretty well. But like, I mean, how much depth do you really need in the playoffs? You just got to get to the playoffs, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I think having a good wing defender like Walsh too is so key in the East with Marcus Smart no longer on the roster. We're going to be going up against like phenomenal wings throughout the playoffs. I mean, look at the Heat. Jimmy Butler's a wing. Even if you get all the way to the finals, probably going to have to play against one of either like Kevin Durant, Braun, both wings. So having that extra depth at the forward spot definitely is necessary for them with the absence of Smart now.
Speaking of the Miami
Heat, they're gonna need a grit guy. They're gonna need a grit guy. Every good team needs a grit guy. Who's that gonna be? That'll be the question.
And speaking of the Miami Heat, what do you think of the whole Dame situation? I mean, this has just become such a crap show. Like, he's completely holding the Trailblazers hostage, and I know he did his time with them, but they need something. They need something.
I think the Trailblazers, they just need to face it. Like, he's not going to play there. So, like, yeah, we can get at this point. I know what they're doing, and they're asking for like a million things, and the Heat they're in win. I think the Heat have always been in just win now mode at all times, which is why they're always so good. They're always, Pat Riley's a genius, and Eric Spoelstra's a great coach. But I think I like Dame. I get what he's doing. I don't have anything against him for it. I just think that the Blazers need to start to look in the mirror and say, okay, we got Scoot. If Dame stays, it's not going to be like we've seen what happens when superstars stay in a place that they don't want to stay. Like, I know Dame's much different in the sense that no matter where he's going to be, he's going to give it his all. He's going to ball out. He's not going to go fat-hearted mode. But I think, the Blazers just need to look in the mirror and get what they can get before it's too late. And he just leaves and holds out and doesn't play for them, and they don't get it. Like, that's pretty much what's going to come to. So
my thing with Dame is I just with him, I don't get why he like you got to give him a couple team options. I think I mean if you wanted, why didn't you sign there in free agency if that's where you wanted to go? Like, my thing is like if he can do this, then that's going to just be like the outline for players in the future. Like, say, or if somebody when Anthony Edwards eventually wants out because Minnesota's going to go nowhere, is he going to be able to just be like, I want to go to this team. I don't care what you guys think. Like, it creates like a ripple effect in the league where like there's other good teams he could go to that they could get more stuff out of, but he's just refusing. So where does this go from here is my thing. Like, yeah, the Miami Heat could probably give them like some good stuff like with like Tyler Herro, but like how much do they need Tyler Herro? Like, they don't need any more guards. I just think it creates a bad precedent for the NBA, although I understand he's done his time. He's given everything he can to Portland. So it's kind of a different situation than other players, but I feel like other players are just going to be like, well, Dame did it, so I'm going to do it. Like, you're not trading me anywhere else.
I think Harden and Ben Simmons are the reason why people do this now. Harden did it. Ben did it to go to the Nets. And then people will say KD's a big, I don't think KD really had anything to do with the Suns trade. I think he just got bounced because they were cleaning house at that point. But Ben Simmons, Harden, Kyrie, they've kind of set the path for superstars being, even though I'm not saying Ben Simmons is a superstar, but for superstars being like, hey, like, you deserve to give me what I want because I did so much for you. And I mean, honestly, Dame did more for his team than any of those guys ever did. Oh, yeah. So I see it. Yeah, I don't like that. That's what it is in the NBA, but that's why we choose to talk about it and cover it is the
Yeah,
drama.
exactly.
So we'll take it.
Well,
And I think
and-
I,
yeah.
I was gonna say, I think too, I mean, you mentioned the Kevin Durant trade to Phoenix. You look at it from like Portland's perspective, right? In that trade, the Nets could have traded Durant that offseason, but by waiting to the trade deadline, maybe you get a desperate team that is overachieving, thinks they can win it all, and will just go for it. You could get more out of a deal than you would in the summer. So it could benefit the Blazers too, to I don't know, you take a team that maybe isn't like Chicago, for example. Like if they come out, have a really good start to the season, they're in top 4 or 5 in the East. They might want to make a big swing at the point guard position, and they could be willing to give up a lot more than Miami. So
And you
I
never
mean,
know. Dame by that point might even change his mind. It might be like, all right, might be a
definitely.
little more open to a team like that.
Yeah, so it definitely doesn't hurt the Blazers to wait because I mean I can't see the Heat like I don't know downgrading their offer any more so than it already is for a player of Dame's caliber. So it doesn't hurt the Blazers to wait.
Yeah, and like you mentioned with Harden, I don't even know what's going on over there. I don't know who would even want to touch Harden right now. Like it seems like everywhere he's going, it's like what the Kyrie effect was. Like it was just he's just destroying teams one by one. I don't even.
I've got some. Yeah, Harden. I wrong way of going about it from James Harden. I do have some like back end information from some guys that I know within on the Sixers that Daryl Morey is just screwing Harden. They promised him in the offseason okay, you take your pay cut for this playoff run. We'll max contract you once it comes around the next offseason. That was pretty much the given to Harden. And according to sources, Harden did not like that when came around for that time. And Daryl Morey's like, yeah, never mind. We're not doing that anymore. Nothing in paper, nothing in, formal agreement, but that's a lot of that happens a lot in the NBA within GM to player. They're pretty much like, hey, you take a pay cut now, we'll get you in the return on the back end. Like we'll help you. You help us now, we'll help you, or we'll help you now, then you help. But like it's very much a lot of informal agreements that go into a lot of these big time contracts that you see that happened years prior. And apparently that happened with Harden. Now Morey's like, what do you mean, bro? Like get lost. We're not doing that. Whatever the terminology was, Harden should never go about it by going to China and telling a bunch of kids that Daryl Morey's a liar. That was wild.
And I have no doubt Daryl Morey's an asshole. I have no doubt he's an asshole, but like also
and Harden
like
didn't play good last year in the playoffs. Like he should be like, all right, whatever. Like I get it. Like, come on, Harden. But I do think that he might have got the tough end of the stick on that one.
Yeah, so just to kind of wrap it up with our basketball talk, do you have an NBA Finals prediction for us?
I have an NBA Finals predict. What year is it? 2023. I have an NBA Finals prediction for the 2027 season. Orlando Magic.
Orlando Magic. All right.
Lock it in. Come back in 4 years.
All right. We will make sure we
Paulo
come back
Banchero,
around.
Finals MVP, best player in the NBA.
Okay. All right. That's a bold take right there.
No,
they do get a lot of young guys.
He was top 50, I think, in the Bleacher Report top 100 list that just came out a few days ago. So he is on the rise.
And listen, people don't talk about it because I'm a big Magic guy. If you couldn't get the vibes here from Orlando, but people don't get it. The Magic, Franz Wagner, Paulo Banchero, check them out. I'm not saying this year or the next year or even the year after that. Check back 2027. They're gonna be pretty good. Every time the Magic get a number 1 overall pick 5 years later, NBA championship. They haven't won one, but they get there.
They keep beating the Celtics somehow. So I mean,
is the time.
They keep beating the Celtics somehow. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there over in Orlando, but there is some magic going on.
Hell yeah, dude. We beat good teams. We don't beat bad teams.
It doesn't make any sense. Like they beat us like 3 times this year, and it was just like
beat the Celtics, beat the shit out of the Heat every time we play them, beat the Bucks, never like beat the Pistons or the Rockets.
Yeah. So now we just got a couple questions just to wrap it up. So who is the most interesting player you've had an opportunity to talk with or work with?
Oh gosh. That's a tough question. Recently we've got to do a ton of stuff with a ton of really cool players. I think this is going to be an obscure one because he isn't mainstream yet. I'm going to go with one of the players that was on my AAU team. His name's Emmanuel Stephan. He is an 18-year-old who goes to school in Arizona. He's from Nigeria. He's a top ESPN top 100 player right now. He's a center, 7-footer. One of the most interesting dudes I've ever talked to. One of the nicest guys that I've ever met. He's got offers from Kansas, Arizona, like big time blue blood power schools. He'll be somewhere massive next year. Keep a lookout for him. But one of the most interesting guys I've ever talked to. So kind, so nice. Calls me every night to check on me. Since we played AAU, he's the man.
Very cool.
Emmanuel Stephan. For going NBA, I don't know. I was with Obi Toppin last week. He was a pretty cool guy.
Oh, awesome. Hey, maybe we'll have to get that Emmanuel guy on the podcast. Hey, we'll have to get some stories from him.
Wait till he's big time, but he's gonna be he's got some dope stories. I'll have to reach out.
Yeah, so kind of staying on the topic of NBA, the ultimate question. Who's your NBA GOAT, MJ or LeBron?
LeBron, not MJ. LeBron for show. Best player of all time.
Brutal.
He reposted my video the other day, so LeBron for life.
Cool.
Yeah.
Which video?
LeBron for life. I made a video about his I Promise charity. He's housing like hundreds of families in Akron, Ohio right now, mostly coming straight out of obviously he's a billionaire, but a lot of it coming out of pocket from the James Foundation. So made a video talking about, all the great charity work he does in Akron. I'm in Pittsburgh, so Akron's not too far away. And he liked it, reposted it, got a good shout out from Bron, which was sick. So LeBron for life. Also, he's just better. So that too.
All right. Fair. So what are your thoughts on your former teammate Liam Anderson and his chance to make an NFL 53-man roster?
Liam was my roommate. And he is the best player on the Colts. He's practice squad right now. He'll get a shot. He'll dominate it. And you'll probably see him on the field a ton within the next 2-3 seasons here. And I don't know, the Colts seem like they have some quarterback issues. 4-7 played quarterback in high school, so throw him out there.
Hey, whatever works, right?
There we go.
Just saying, I don't know. Anthony Richardson, I don't know if he could hit a standing still target, but I know 47 could, so put him out there.
That's all we got for you. Thank you, Colin, for joining us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, guys, I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, so thanks everyone for watching.
Satyrs, they're going to beat Boston College. Sorry, Satyrs are going to beat Boston College.
You going to go to that game?
Yeah, I'll be there. Come check us out.
I think I'm going to go because a bunch of kids I worked with are either Holy Cross or BC guys, and they're all going to do a tailgate. So
we'll all be there.
Maybe we'll see you there.
Great time. Roll Satyrs, baby.
So thanks everyone for watching and listening. Be sure to check us out on Instagram at @offbeat_sports and on TikTok at offbeat sports, and make sure you subscribe to our channel. Thanks for tuning in.
Call them all Texas songs.